guys.
Yo guys, what's up? It's your boy.
Don't. So embarrassing. So, we live in a van.
Yeah, so how did that happen? Well, we decided to quit our jobs, rent out our flat, buy a van, spend a year converting it, and ended up deciding we want to tour theme parks for about 6 months. So I'm Mike. So I worked in IT, finance, pretty boring job. It was pretty good. Yeah.
Hannah. I was an ecologist. I liked my job, but I don't like consultancy, so that's the problem. So I wanted to get out. It was just a bit draining, that 9 to 5 slog every day.
Yeah, I think I love people and working with people, but I think in lockdown it was just a major driver for us to get out of the routine we were just stuck in. It was often like the 9 to 5 monotonous, I'm sure we all feel it, but it's kind of grates on you, and then you just have this burning need to change, I think, and just we had that for sure.
I think for us as well, we had problems where, because of the whole Grenfell situation, it brought in all these regulations, which meant the flat that we were living in, which we still own, we can't sell it. So we were stuck. We couldn't move on and get a house like all of our friends were doing and get a garden and do something nice. So we were in this place for a while where we were like, oh God, we can't do anything. We're just stuck.
Yeah, it felt like the longest flat sale ever in 2023. So it was the entire year.
Yeah.
We decided to sell, and we tried everything, and it kept feeling hopeful. We get let down, feeling hopeful, let down, and we just thought we've had enough of it. Really, we decided we would spend our wedding money that we'd been saving up for just on rather than one day, to spend it on the trip of a lifetime.
Well, it's something we've been speaking about for years. We're like, oh, when we do the van thing, hence the name.
Yeah.
And we just kind of spotted this van online one day for a pretty decent price, and we were like, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's put a deposit down on it and go see it. And then we got it. And it was, 2 days before that, we had no idea it existed. So we went from our normal life to suddenly just having a van that we'd always wanted.
And now the van thing is real.
Feels weird.
It took a lot of effort to make this happen. Don't get us wrong. It doesn't come easy. You've spent so many hours listening to me talk about the van and the build. Spent 12 months. We had to first of all buy the van, then source a unit because we live in the wettest city in the UK, in Cardiff. So no chance we're going to get any progress on the build done without a workshop.
Just all the homework that you have to do for it, because it comes down to even the wood you use, the kind of fridge you want, what way you want your bed to go, where you want your windows. It's just, there's so much to think about. And it's just so much homework. I think that is the main thing, that you think, people just build a van and it's relatively straightforward, but I think probably 70% of it is homework.
Yeah,
so much.
We ended up opting for a 2016 Sprinter van. Had quite high mileage on it, but everything else looked great. The bodywork, 145,000 miles on it,
which is quite a lot, but for Sprinter,
quite high. Yeah, everyone we spoke to about Sprinters, they said, look, they're just getting warmed up with that kind of mileage, and it's a diesel Sprinter. So touch wood, it's been pretty good so far. So
don't jinx it.
Yeah, we're 2,000 miles into the trip, and absolutely, you're sort of loving every second of it.
It's really good. Well, I always feel better as well, because when we were viewing vans at the time, there was a Royal Mail van online for sale, and that had 600,000 miles, and I'm like,
yeah,
if that can do it, and that's the same age as this van. It was a 2016.
Yeah, 2016 with 600,000 miles, and it must have been going non-stop for the Royal Mail. But if that's still going, and it said it was a starter, then we thought, don't we have too much to worry about?
Yeah. So why theme parks, do you reckon? I think it was the first thing, actually, because Mike and I are quite different from each other. We have very different interests, but the one thing that we absolutely love, that we click on, is theme parks. And ever since we went, I think Thorpe Park was the first one we ever went to together. Yeah. And we're just crazy. You can't come to a theme park with us, because if you want to eat, you want to have a wee.
Yeah. We don't have time for that.
We don't have time for that. Yeah. We just go. We're insane.
Yeah, we literally put our gym gear on. We plan every ride we're going to do, and let's move away to the back. Let's get there, avoid that queue, and we're
tactical.
Probably fast walking all day. I mean, the recent theme park we just did, we must have done about 50,000 steps in 2 days. So
yeah, it was
maybe
insane.
a bit more than
it was
that.
intense. Tripsdrill, because Tripsdrill is one in Germany that is a theme park, but also has a wildlife park next door to it, which is open a bit later. So you're just walking all day. We were so tired after that.
Yeah.
It was so tiring.
Pretty conked out.
But that was kind of the start of it.
Yeah, I mean, we've always been like thrill seekers at heart. So from doing like tandem paragliding, and then I did it solo and trained for a while, and then realized we loved the rush of sort of just going on rides and being taken a bit out of the comfort zone, I guess, and pushing ourselves out of that.
Yeah, I love finding a ride that scares me, because they don't often scare me, but swinging chairs do. I don't know why specifically. Take me on any roller coaster in the world and I'm fine, but stick me on a swinging chair.
Yeah, seeing those rusty chains hold all that way.
It's the one in Barry. We went to Barry Island.
Yeah.
And if you know Barry Island, you know what I'm talking about. So
yeah, that was probably the sketchiest that I felt on a ride. But hey, there we go. See, I think a theme throughout really has just been, when someone says you can't do something, or it's like, hey, you can't simply just watch a few YouTube videos and build a van. You just say, watch me, and just make it happen. That's been the running theme. Whenever we thought, this is a bit intimidating, I got myself into a bit of analysis paralysis for the build at times, where something got really complicated. Let's say we had to do the electrics, or there was the gas, and how do we size the coffee machine to go in there, because we have to get that going. There's a few unique features, and we'll do a full van tour so you can kind of see some of these features that we're talking about. But we wanted to make sure it was comfortable. If we're going to do this, and live in the van, we wanted to do it properly.
All of our creature comforts in here, which is why you've got your Xbox, you've got the coffee machine, that kind of thing. We were like, what, if we're going to live in it full time, let's just make it how we live normally, and you use those things every day or every week at least.
Yeah.
So let's make it comfortable.
Yeah, I know my friends sort of look at me and go, still don't know how you guys did this. Just like looking at the van and looking at what we were able to achieve with it. It's just like, even I don't know how we did it. But if I had to give anyone advice, if you're in a van build right now, you're kind of having those same problems where you're resting, I don't know what to do, maybe there's this, maybe this, that's just some thought, but mostly action. That's always what I come to the conclusion of. You just get stuck into it, and then eventually you'll start it piece by piece. That's not to say just do, because you'll build yourself into a mess, but think about it a bit and then just get started.
Because even though going back to most of it is homework, but we did get to the point where we were a bit paralysed with how much research we'd done, that we were questioning everything. So it's like, we just need to get a tool and do something with it and start, because we were just thinking about it way too much. So it is really stressful. Maybe we'll do a separate kind of talk on the van build and everything. Yeah,
definitely. I think if everyone's interested in that, then we can always do a bit of a series on the different stages. I mean, we captured some footage along the way, but probably be mostly just talking over it and showing what was already done.
I think we were quite good at the start with the GoPro, and then you just get stuck in it, and it's just like the GoPro just became something really annoying.
Just wanted it done.
just wanted it done. So we have loads of photos, but maybe not so much footage. But we can just talk about it, and we can do a van tour and just go through what we did and why we did it. So
yeah, exactly. And if there's any questions anyone has, then I'd probably point to others for the advice that we sought. We watched a lot of videos like Greg Virgoe and
he's amazing,
Matt Eastley, who was also following Greg Virgoe, but I found them like really useful just to kind of visualize what the process looks like, and you learn it's not as intimidating as you think.
I think the difference between those two as well, Greg is kind of more the professional, and Matt is just, he's great, but he's a self-proclaimed DIY do-it-yourselfer kind of like, he's very much like, this is my first time doing it, don't take what I'm saying as gospel. And we really liked watching his videos, because I don't know, it's kind of how we were doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Just a bit random, slapdash. It felt like it anyway. We managed it somehow.
So we're currently 2 months into living in the van full time. So for 1 month, the first month we were in the UK, and the UK is not very camper friendly. So it's actually illegal to sleep in your van overnight in undesignated spots. Yeah, so living in the UK in a van is a bit sketchy at times, and we were kind of relying on friends and family initially.
Well, we stayed outside your nan's for a bit, and that was fine because pretty much everyone kind of knew who we were. They were doing a little bit of a van tour, so that was really nice. I don't think it was as scary as we initially thought. I think we were really paranoid in the beginning. We still are sometimes when we get to a new country. But we were really paranoid in the UK at the start, like, oh, we're going to get caught, people are going to knock. But no, it was okay.
Yeah, there's some good spots. And it helps that we have friends who loaned us their driveway.
Yeah, they went on holiday and we stayed there. It's the best campsite ever for like 3-4 days, so thanks, Matt and Sarah.
Yeah, it's very good.
It was a very nice campsite.
So what's next for us? We're currently in Switzerland.
We just got here last night.
Yeah, just finished a few theme parks in Germany, and honestly, Germany was, blew my expectations away. It was, from the Black Forest and the beauty there. We were swimming in a lake with turquoise blue water, and just taking in the sunshine.
It's just beautiful, and the people are so friendly. I think there's such a stereotype about the stoic kind of nature of the Germans, but they're just the loveliest people we've met, I think, some of them.
Yeah, there was one spot in, was it Baden-Baden?
Near Baden-Baden, yeah.
Yeah, so we'd been trying to get local wine for a bit of the trip, and we happened to kind of go to the shop on Labor Day and it was closed, so we couldn't get hold of it. And we were parked up at this random park up and park for night, very useful app. And Hannah was in the shower in the van, and I was just sat in the chair outside, and we got speaking to these two German couple, and I mentioned to them what we were doing and what the van's for, and they were quite impressed, just saying, wow, it was very brave to just get that started. And I thought nothing of it. It was like a 5-minute conversation. I happened to mention, we're trying to get hold of some local wine, and then 2 hours later.
Well, I was packing in the back of the van, and then I heard a car come up, and it's a little bit dark, and I was like, oh no. And I'm like super paranoid about the police.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh no, the police are here. And it was just this couple, and I was like, hello, and they said hi back, and then they were like, oh, is your husband here? And I was like, yes, Mike. And it turned out to be the couple from earlier, and they'd just come to drop off a bottle of wine and 2 wine glasses.
Yeah, literally a bottle of wine from the local vineyard and 2 glasses.
So
and
nice.
Yeah, and they said, oh, it's a gift for your visit for Germany, and we were just blown away by the hospitality and the fact that it was
So
a 5-minute conversation, and it led to that. So yeah, that just made our night, really.
That's like really a highlight of the trip so far, I think. That was just like so unexpected. They like campers in Germany, I think.
Yeah, it's much more camper friendly. You have the all the camper plats.
Stellplatz.
Yeah, well, when the services work, I've lost count of the amount of euros I've got eaten up where nothing's happened. I'm just there pressing the button on the machine. But most of them are okay. But yeah, it's I've lost a few euros due to that.
They do, but also we were quite jammy, and it spat out millions.
Yeah, the one I pressed the coin return, and all these 50-cent coins come out. So we got about €4 worth of coins there.
So we got our money back. Well,
yeah,
so
it is quite well.
So everyone's kind of warning us that Switzerland's going to be a little bit expensive, but we'll see.
Yeah, we're obviously being super budget savvy, so we're living off a certain amount each day, and we're going either above the budget when we go fuel the van up, or we come way under budget when we kind of in the more remote sites and we don't need to spend any money. So yeah, it kind of balances out, I think.
It does balance it out. Theme park days are quite expensive, especially Europa Park, because we did 2 days there, but that was also your birthday, so there's a bit of a birthday budget.
Yeah, that was great park. I can see why everyone
raves about it.
Everyone raves about it. Yeah, it's really, really cool.
Really
great
fun.
time there. Well, yeah, we're just figuring this out, and we kind of want to kind of show things to friends and family and bring them along, and rather than send like 50 WhatsApp messages out with all different pictures and videos, we just keep it all in one place and we get uploaded on YouTube and Instagram mostly.
Hi, Brenda.
Yeah, if she's watching this on YouTube,
which I'm sure she is.
Yeah.
YouTube warrior.
Yeah, my nan's a YouTube warrior. She'll just sit there and scroll all the way through. So yeah, but there we go. Yeah, it's kind of that's it really. We'll definitely give updates along the way.
Oh well, little things. The fan, she's called Jolene. So, what else?
Yeah, Jolene. We probably need to explain that a bit.
Jolene kind of comes from her registration.
Yeah.
So it's something that we, figured out from her registration. And then obviously, please don't steal my van.
Yeah.
I'm begging of you, please don't steal my van.
Begging of you, please don't steal my van, rather than steal my man. So that's pretty much the lyrics. Yeah. But it works. So she's called Jolene.
The route, I guess. We'll speak about the route. The route, at the moment, we've done Belgium, Netherlands, and the west of Germany, and now we're in Switzerland, obviously. But we'll be going through down into Italy, a few more Schengen countries, and then we'll be into our 90 days then. So
Yeah, we're having to wrestle with the Schengen rules because, since leaving the EU, they decided to kick us out of the Schengen free travel movement. What's it called?
even though Switzerland,
I know. Yeah. Well, there we go. So,
Switzerland isn't in the EU, but they're Schengen. So
I know
I'm
they're
like,
punishing us
They're
for
punishing.
make an example of it, which
I guess.
I suppose can't blame them. But
But yeah, it basically means if you don't know what the Schengen rules are, you can only stay in Schengen countries, which is mostly EU countries, but also the odd one that's not, i.e. Switzerland. And you can only stay in them for 90 days out of 180.
Yeah.
So essentially we have to do 90 days of travel within the Schengen and then 90 days out. So you can either go back to the UK, which we don't want to do,
No.
or you can go to other non-Schengen countries like Cyprus, Turkey, Albania, Bosnia, that kind of thing. So we're going to do that, which wasn't our original plan, because obviously
No.
this is a theme park tour and a lot of those countries don't really have any theme parks, but we're kind of excited because they're countries that we weren't really planning on going to.
Yeah.
So it kind of adds a bit of a different
that's a new
twist.
dynamic to it. And there are some good theme parks in Turkey. So
Turkey, yeah.
there's one, I can't remember the name of it now, and everyone will push me for it. But
Land of Legends? Or...
Land of Legends, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, one where you can actually sit in your swimming costume on a roller coaster because they've merged the aqua park and the all the rides for the theme park, which is really cool. So that'll be quite a good experience,
Yeah,
especially if
that'll be
we're
really
in 40-degree heat in Turkey.
And non-theme parky, I'm really excited for Albania because it's just beautiful. I've been looking at it online, I've been watching all sorts of videos. I'm so excited to go there. So we've got a few weeks there, which is going to be really good.
Yeah.
It's the only bad thing, I guess, about the trip is that we're so limited. Like, I could have easily spent another week or two in Germany, in the West. It's just so beautiful, but you have to be like, now we have to travel today, or it has to be an admin day. Sometimes feels like you're wasting days a little bit, but
Yeah, we've left a few places a bit earlier than I think we would have liked to, but I think we still made the most of it whilst we were there. And even staying in the Black Forest, we had an epic thunderstorm, and we got really lucky with a really hot day and then an epic thunderstorm to finish it off. And we, by the next day it was a bit rainy. We just thought, well, this feels like a good time to leave. But what a beautiful place! Like,
so lovely.
I don't think we're done with it yet.
No, well, realistically, we had 2 nights in the same spot, really, and then 1 night in another spot. 2 spots in the whole of the Black Forest. Like, we're so not done with it. I'd love to go back there another time. But yeah, Germany itself, I feel like you could spend your entire Schengen allowance in Germany because it's just beautiful. And we haven't even touched the east side or anything yet.
Yeah, whilst we miss people, and I wish we could bring everyone along, really, but I think this is the next best thing, just to kind of share what we're up to, and hopefully everyone's curious and finds it quite interesting, because for us it's just still feels surreal that we're finally doing the van thing.
We're just happy if Brenda, your mum, my mum,
Yeah.
a few of our friends watch the video.
Yeah.
Like, woohoo!
Yeah, exactly. That's what we're doing it for,
That's
really.
all we need, really.
Yeah, I think that pretty much concludes the bit of an intro, and hopefully you get a feel for what we're up to, and we'll post a few more updates as we kind of travel along and venture into the unknown a bit.
It's not going to be any real routine with the videos. We're just going to, like today, we're just randomly making one.
Yeah,
We
so
were
I
like,
done a
let's
bit of a
just
ramble, but yeah, there
Talk
we go.
at the camera and see what happens. We made a little script and then we're like, no, we just need to talk.
Yeah.
Just put it together because
Yeah, it just means a lot of editing ahead, but
there's going to be so many bloopers.
There
to
we go.
this one. Anyway.
all right. Take care, everyone. See you soon.
Yeah, that's about it, I think.
That's about it.
That's about it.